Please be seated. Dr. Florencia Cherito Sebastian, Director of the UP Extension Program in Pampanga and Olongapo. Professor Manuel Gerardo Duran, Deputy Director. Dr. Ronald Banson, the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs of UP Diliman. Dr. Evangeline Amor, our University Registrar. The graduating class, parents, and all the other significant others in the lives of our new graduates. Mayapa, Bengi. I'm glad that I get to say Bengi instead of the longer hapon. That was a mouthful. I am not Kapampangan. I just picked up Kapampangan phrases very quickly from one of my other former students in here. I have been a commencement speaker in many UP campuses, but this is my first time to be a speaker here at the UP Extension Program in Pampanga and Olongapo. Rather symbolically, I feel this is also my, I felt that this was symbolic because this is also my first commencement speech as UP Diliman Chancellor. When I was asked if I could be the speaker, I did not think twice about saying yes. Because during the search for a new UP Diliman Chancellor, I had been jotting down my thoughts, trying to frame a vision, and the UP Extension Program here in Pampanga and Olongapo was high up in my list of priorities. I intend to carry on, and even Manila's development was dependent on Pampanga. The original Spanish colonial province of Pampanga was huge and was later divided up, leading to new provinces of Tarlac, Bataan, and even some parts of Nueva Ecija. The Principalia, the new middle class that included Chinese mestizos, grew out of Pampanga and the adjoining Central Luzon area. We know too that the Principalia and the other social groups were at the forefront of the revolution against Spain. People often forget that Andres Bonifacio's family origins were in Pampanga and that there's a very strong Bonifacio following among the Katipuneros in this area. The spirit of nationalism persisted through the American colonial occupation. For example, the playwright Aurelio Tolentino was Kapampangan, known for his seditious plays. Also, because of the feudal bondage in Central Luzon, this region became a hotbed of radical organizing, including that of the Partido Comunista ng Pilipinas. When the Second World War broke out, Central Luzon fiercely resisted. It was the area for the Battle of Bataan, the Death March, and many other fierce resistance to the Japanese. The peasant movement was transformed into the Hukbalahap, which was an anti-Japanese army during the Second World War, and provided never-ending problems for the Japanese invaders. The movement continued after the war ended as part of the struggle for land rights, one which continues to this day. We know Pampanga continues to produce many nationalist leaders. It is said that Pampanga is full of paradoxes. We are a region of rebels. You are a region of people who question the status quo. I believe Felix Manalo is also Kapampangan and has started the Iglesia ni Cristo. And to the Iglesia ni Cristo students here, I greet you on your 100th anniversary. We know that the strong nationalist legacies in the region, amid the strong nationalist legacies in the region, we talk of paradoxes because they're set up to provide continuing college education for American-basis personnel. After the bases were dismantled, UP Clark was transformed to what we have today. Rather than look at all this as messy contradictions, nationalism on one hand and American imperial forces on the other, we should see how the many mixed legacies of Spanish and American colonialism, as well as the diverse currents of nationalism, can find fusion. The UP Extension Program can forge stronger ties with other heritage projects in the region to rediscover Kapampangan culture. Here, I am not just referring to Kapampangan in terms of Pampanga, but the greater Kapampangan heritages, the agumans that are now stretching throughout Central Luzon and beyond, even including many overseas Kapampangan communities. All over the world today, there are strong currents of heritage conservation and cultural revival, one which we see in Pampanga and which can still be further expanded. a wise UP graduate among you will see many opportunities in tapping into this interest in heritage, from the production of artisanal goods to food processing to furniture design. I understand this hotel is owned by a major furniture maker, and the production and maintenance of recreational facilities. Beyond these business interests, however, a rediscovery of Kapampangan heritage contributes to national pride, and this is why I am interested as the Chancellor of UP Diliman. We find in Kapampangan revival a chance as well to find ourselves as Filipinos. Last year with the Medical City as it builds a new hospital in Clark. I am aware of the many developments in this area, of the 3 largest Middle Eastern airlines and several Chinese airlines flying into the Diosdado Macapagal International Airport. But even before these airlines come in, we've already seen the influx of numerous multinational companies and the rise of expatriate communities, including the huge Koreatown on the way into this hotel. Some are in businesses, and we find other communities, huge communities actually, of retired senior citizens. I am impressed at the types of companies that have come in. They are not like those that you find in older export process zones that mainly engage in assembly operations. What we see in this area are companies further up the value chain, providing, for example, airline maintenance and repair services and pilot training. I hear too of business processing not confined to call centers, but involved in accounting and more complex services. The UP Extension program must be ready for these companies, not just to provide employees, but also to be able to help craft the agenda and the policy environment, even to take the lead in determining our directions in business. I envision a UP Extension program that speaks out to ensure that the business interests that come in will complement existing efforts to enhance heritage, to preserve the environment, and to find partners with the various cultural communities. Most importantly, I envision a UP Extension program that will fight for growth with equity. Arayat's long shadow must not be forgotten. There will be many venues for the UP Extension program. Students, in the years to come, we will see all kinds of hyphenated Kapampangans with their aguman throughout the country and overseas. I have already advised the Medical City to ask their staff applicants to list down languages spoken and to give a premium to those who are multilingual. At the same time, I have asked too that they give priority to those who have roots in Pampanga or those whose hearts are here in Pampanga. It is this multicultural Pampanga that must be at the core of the UP Extension program's agenda for the future. There is much that can be done with your programs in business management, and in applied psychology. I mentioned that during the Spanish colonial period, Manila's wealth came in part from this region. In the future, we will hear people talking about how national development draws on the success of the Clark-Subic Growth Corridor, one nurtured in the pride in Pampanga's past, navigated by forward-looking visions, and nurtured in a hub called UP, and there can we be bold in thinking of a UP College in Pampanga and Olongapo? Salamat kayo. Thank you and good night.